Manuel Akanji to Paris 13 Atletico.
Here we go.
Now why would multiple Premier League winner and Champions League winner Akanji want to join us? Well, no one wanted him. So we signed him on just 27.5k a week. With an actual good budget for once, because of our sale of Siddiqui Sharif for 30 million to Feyenoord, we could sign multiple good players. Saïdou Sanusi and the big man himself, Dani Namaso, came in on free transfers. Finally, we brought in Rami Seruki for 4.3 million from Bournemouth and a Mozambique striker in Victor Nantumbo for 11 million from Schalke. Alongside Sharif, these were the other outgoings. Maite moved to Cadiz for 5 million, Corey moved to Almeria for 5.75 because he wanted more playing time, and Uche and Konate moved to Le Havre and Valladolid respectively. With us moving into the Champions League this season, the board have started upgrading our facilities, and have agreed to do so again. And they're also expanding the stadium. It'll take 11 months though, so we'll play our home games away from home the entire season. Since we won the Coupe de France last season, we got PSG in the Trophée des Champions ahead of the season. I'll summarize it very quickly. Messi and loads of goals, which PSG got more of in the end. They won 4-3 and started their season with a trophy.
Don't care. Just don't care anymore. Don't care.
With the season preview having a 7th, my assistant manager said to the press that we could win the league this year, so I'll look to at least challenge for it. And we started well on that front, as we won 4-2 against Rennes in the season opener. Okpe, Toumi, Ayari and Toumi again got our goals, which we scored from just 1.1 xg. We continued that theme, as we won 2-0 against Lille in another clinical performance. Marco scored this banger, and Datro Fofana got the other one. Very lucky, I might add. We somehow only managed a 1-1 draw with newly promoted Pau in the next game. But like usual, we did it back, by winning the next 3 games. We won 2-0 against Montpellier as El Amrani and Okpe scored, 4-0 against Lyon as Marco scored another brilliant goal and new signing Nantumbo got a brace. And finally we won 2-0 against Monaco as well, with Okpe and Nantumbo getting the goals. Going into our very first UCL game in our history, we're facing Genk at home, and it's a game I'm 100% expecting to win. We started by hitting the post and scoring an offside goal. Sekiri then scored for Genk right before the break, and 15 minutes into the second half. It wasn't until the 83rd that we managed to get one back. And in the 93rd, MacLeod got tackled from behind inside their box, so we got a pen. But MacLeod hit the bar and it went over, so we've somehow lost 2-1 to fucking Genk. But the next UCL game, away to Trabzonspor, we showed our quality. El Omari opened the scoring by scoring his own rebound. 20 minutes later, Okpe doubled it after a big mess in their box. And right after the break, Datro Fofana cemented it by scoring our 3rd and final goal in a 3-0 win. Back to the league, we continued in the same way as against Genk. Namaso missed this good chance before Mustafa scored for Nantes. 3 minutes after that though, El Ainaoui got tackled and we got a pen, which Namaso scored. And after Situni had scored this offside goal because of Namaso being off, we got another pen in the 94th, which Namaso would take. And he f***ing missed. So just like against Genk, we've lost out on valuable points because of a penalty miss in injury time.
You can't miss. You can't miss this. He's bloody missed it! What a prat! What a prat!
But in the next 3 league games, we really stepped it up. Marco and Okpe got us the 2-1 win against Troyes, before we smashed Auxerre 5-1. Situni, who'd come on for Nantumbo just a few minutes earlier, opened it. Yusi doubled it and Namaso got one as well, before Toumi scored this outrageous volley. And finally, Situni got his 2nd of the night to make it 5-1. Before he smashed Lorient as well. Toumi got himself a brace and Situni and Namaso got the final 2 in the 4-1 win. After those great results, it means we're actually leading the league. We're in first by 3 points down to PSG and are still unbeaten with 8 wins and 2 draws. At this point, Eddie Howe said to the media he was interested in signing Ignosi, so I naturally told him he wasn't for sale, as well as a small extra comment. And a few days later, Eddie Howe said it's the first he's heard of rumors linking him to Ignosi. He must have eaten some special brownies or something, man, cause he is in a different universe. We've now got Real Madrid at home in the UCL. A huge game, and one that really shows how far we've come. Nothing happened in the first half, but 3 minutes into the second, MacLeod decided to do this. What a shot! 10 minutes later, Ignosi conceded this pen, which Neves scored. Arda Güler then scored in the 70th to take the lead. But in the 89th, Okpe scored with this nice finish from El Armani's brilliant cross. But it's offside. So we narrowly lose 2-1 to Real Madrid. As if it wasn't enough with one giant, we've now got PSG away at the Parc des Princes. The only thing that happened in the first half was this good save from Ekram. João Neves then scored an offside goal not long into the second. And the next highlight didn't come until the 89th. MacLeod was tripped up, so we got a pen. Now, would Okpe do the same as MacLeod and Namaso and bottle it with a late penalty? No, he wouldn't. He scored the pen to get us an extremely important win. We took that win and didn't really get any momentum actually. We won against Lens by scoring 2 late goals, but from there we fell off. We lost deservedly 3-1 against Ajax in Europe, before losing our first league game of the season as well. We actually had a lead against Nice, but 2 questionable actions from Namaso and Zuma led to them scoring twice and winning 2-1. A brilliant first half performance followed that loss, as we scored 3 against Toulouse, including this one from Marco's outrageous Rabona cross. We did concede twice in the second half, but we managed to hold on to win 3-2 in the end. We continued winning by beating Strasbourg 2-1 as Situni and Okpe scored. Against Reims in the next game, Chris flipping Metham scored against us, but we hit back in quick fashion as Marco and Hannibal with an own goal scored our goals. El Amrani came off the bench in the 52nd, only to get 2 yellows quicker than I've seen on this game. And it's not the first time he's been suspended, I'll tell you that. He really needs to go to a therapist, I think, because he has some serious anger issues.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes. Look at you.
The final 2 UCL league phase games before the break were 2 similar but very different games. We got smashed 4-1 by Villarreal before smashing Besiktas 4-0. And the final league game before the break, we went 1-0 down early as El Omari just stood there. Thankfully, Antwi, who was playing in place of suspended El Amrani, provided the assist to Situni to equalize. But they scored twice more before the break. Namaso did score with this great finish, but he then got injured and we didn't manage anymore. So we disappointingly lose 3-2, which means we are still in first, but only by 2 points. That loss has put us in a much worse position, and we need to get back to winning ways ASAP. But that would be difficult when half your squad, yes, squad, is leaving for AFCON. I did think about this problem a few seasons ago, but I've since completely forgotten it. So we'll do really well to win anything this January. I mean, look at the state of our squad. So we had to delve into the market and bring in 3 players to somewhat cover the gaping hole of AFCON. We brought in Divine Mukasa, Loic Bade and a brilliant striker in Sadat Nuruddin on loan from Celtic, Atletico Madrid and Chelsea respectively. Despite our squad struggles, we did manage to advance in the Coupe de France, as we won 4-0 against Amneville. That win was expected though. And against Rennes, our struggles really came to light, as we only managed a 2-2 draw. We then just about won 1-0 against third-tier side Dijon as Nantumbo, who's already returned from AFCON since he's Mozambican, scored our only goal. Against Montpellier, we actually managed to win 3-1, as Toumi, Namaso and Okpe, who's just returned from AFCON, scored our goals. In the UCL, we lost 4-0 away to RB Leipzig. It was kind of expected, and without quite a few key players, it's even more expected. And that loss means we have to win against Celtic to have a chance of going through. We had an insane first half, as Namaso, El Omari and MacLeod got one each. 5 minutes into the second though, we conceded as Mikel Merino, who somehow moved to Celtic, scored. Nuruddin hit back with a goal, but we conceded twice more in short succession. Dewsbury Hall scored this free kick through our wall, and Paulinho scored an open goal as Okonkwo had a howler. But we held on and won 4-3 against Celtic in a mess of a game, and that means we literally finish as the 24th team. So we're through by the skin of our teeth. 3 wins and 5 losses has somehow been enough. Now, we finally have all our players back from AFCON, and Ekra and Datro Fofana actually won the entire thing, so congrats to them. We really took advantage of having everyone back though, as we smashed Lyon 3-0, Monaco 4-1 and Nantes 4-2 to get back to our former self. And in the UCL, we've been around Chelsea, a very difficult opponent, but we could also manage an upset here.
What?
The first leg was maybe the dullest game in Europe I've seen, as we drew 0-0. But the second leg might just be the most entertaining game in Europe I've seen. Well, at least the second half. Okpe hit the post from a corner in the 48th, but our Kanji was there to tap in the rebound. And just under 20 minutes later, we scored again, as El Omari scored this header from Seruki's cross. But the next 6 minutes, Chelsea somehow managed to score twice to equalize. In the 87th though, Okpe scored to give us the lead again after a complete mess in their box. Just 2 minutes later, Smith Rowe, who somehow ended up at Chelsea, scored with this great finish. But it's offside! It didn't matter though, as Nkunku scored with this outrageous finish in the 91st, so it's going to extra time. I decided to put Antwi on as El Omrani was knackered, but that was a poor choice. He scored an own goal not even a minute after coming on, and Smith Rowe scored again in the 101st to get the Blues a 2-goal lead. Straight from kickoff in the second half of extra time though, El Ainaoui scored with his nice finish to give us a glimmer of hope. And in the 121st, Toumi scored this tap-in after Sanusi had hit a post. But it's fucking offside. So we lose 5-4 against Chelsea in an insane game. It was a decent performance from us at times, but we managed to bottle it in the deciding moments. That loss didn't really faze us though, as we smashed Troyes 4-1 as Zuma, Situni, Nantumbo and MacLeod all got a goal. We've now got the Coupe de France, where we've already smashed Montpellier 5-2 in the 11th round, before we've now got second tier side Brest, who we also smash, as we win 6-1 in a great performance. Back to the league, we took the lead against Lille through Namaso, but Lille came back and scored 2 late goals to get the 2-1 win, and hand us our first loss in the league since before Christmas.
This was the no-brainer. This was the banker. This was the one that couldn't fail. This was one that's never failed.
The next game, we just about won 3-2 against Auxerre as El Omari, Toumi with his brilliant volley, and El Omrani with his shite finish in the 94th got our goals. And that means we've dropped down to second after 25 games. PSG have a game in hand, and if they win that, they have a 3-point gap. So we'll have to win against exactly PSG in a couple weeks to have a chance of winning the title. Before the arguable title decider against PSG, we won 3-2 against Lorient as Okpe got a brace. And against PSG at home, there's a highlight straight from kickoff. And Nantumbo scores after 13 seconds. What? But it didn't last long. Colomwani scored this shite header off the post at the near post, so Ekra should really be saving that. We once again take the lead though, as Nuruddin shoots at a gaping goal as Donnarumma is on an acid trip. and it deflects off Kamara and counts as his own goal. But it once again didn't last long. 2 minutes to be exact. Joãozinho, who is an insane wonder kid, scored with this great finish to equalize. A post hit for each team followed. Before Namaso scored from Marco's pullback pass in the 81st to get us the win. We're back ahead of them by 2 points, and we're now in the driver's seat for the title. But we came right back down to earth against what is turning out to be our rivals, Lens, as we drew 2-2 because of a last-second goal from Descartes. But against Nice and Toulouse, we got back to winning ways by winning 3-1 in both games, as Namaso got himself 3 goals across those 2 games. Our stadium expansion has just been completed, by the way, and the first thing that happened in it was that Toomey tore his hamstring, so he's out for 2 months. But those results means we're still in second. We're tied on points with PSG, but have a lot worse goal difference. We need to win all our final games and beg for PSG to drop points. Before the final stretch of league games, we win 4-2 against Nice in the Coupe de France semi-final to make our second final in 2 years, and set up an opportunity of a title defense. Back to the league for the title run-in, we just about won 1-0 against Strasbourg thanks to this insane banging volley from Maku.
Banger! After banger! After banger!
But in the next game, we got a big shock. We lost 3-1 against the Rams, completely deservedly. We were miles off it.
Shocking!
So our title dream is basically gone. Before our second to last game though, we got the message that PSG had drawn with Lille, so there's still a small chance, and we capitalize on it. As Nantumbo and Okpe from the spots got our goals in a huge 2-0 win against Marseille. The final league game is upon us now, and we've got Pau at home, such a winnable game. But we also need PSG to drop points against Lorient, which is very unlikely. We started well, as Namaso scored this from Nantumbo's pass across 22 minutes in. But when I looked at the other results, I saw that PSG were 3-0 up against Lorient after 20 minutes. We won 3-0 in the end, as Nantumbo and Okpe got one each in the second half. But we miss out on the title by a single point, as PSG won 5-1 against Lorient. It is a massive step up from last season though. We actually pushed PSG the entire way, and next season we're gonna go for glory. We still have a chance of glory this season though, against Marseille in the Coupe de France final. We took an early lead as Nantumbo scored from Marco's deflected cross. Unai scored this deflected goal in the 69th though, and as nothing else happened, it's going to extra time. Just 3 minutes into extra time, Marco delivered this insane cross to Situni, who had an easy job of scoring. The latter had had enough at that point though, as he got injured in the 111th. And I couldn't even bring anyone on, since I'd used all our subs. But it didn't matter at all, as we won 2-1 to get our second Coupe de France. Okpe topped the top scorer list, as well as topping the top performers list, with Situni, Nantumbo and Toomey not far behind. The Smoen would become an icon, and finally we were able to add another trophy to our count versus PSG. We're starting to catch up, right?